Welcome back to Apex Sci-Fi. In the deepest reaches of the Galactic Rim, there is a region known as the Whispering Rifts. It is a place where the fabric of space is thin, folded over itself like a crumpled map. And in the center of these rifts lies the Great Maw, a black hole that has swallowed entire star systems. But it isn't the gravity that sailors fear most. It is the song. For eons, ships have disappeared into the rifts, their last transmissions filled with joy, laughter, and descriptions of a paradise that doesn't exist. They are the victims of the Siren of the Void. Not a woman, not a machine, but an ancestral predator, a creature of pure energy and psychic frequency that lives in the folds of space. It doesn't hunt with claws, it hunts with hope. It broadcasts a signal directly into the minds of its prey, showing them their deepest desires, luring them to drift peacefully into the event horizon. To the Siren, the resulting explosion of a ship's collapse is a feast of kinetic energy. Silas Vane was hired by a desperate trade conglomerate. Their flagship, carrying a generation's worth of medical supplies, had veered off course into the rifts. They didn't want the Siren dead, they didn't think it could be killed. They just wanted their ship back. But to hunt a creature that attacks the mind, you cannot rely on a shield. You have to remove the target. Vane entered the Whispering Rifts in the Vesper. As he crossed the first fold, the song began. It started as a low hum in the back of his skull, a melody that sounded like the rain on a roof he hadn't seen in 20 years. It promised rest. It promised a home where the hunt was over and the mask could finally come off. Vane felt the pull. His hand hovered over the navigation controls, wanting to turn the ship toward the golden light of the black hole's accretion disk. He saw the paradise flickering in his visor, a garden world under a warm sun. But Silas Vane is a man built on scars and cold reality. He knew the garden was a grave. Not today, Vane whispered, his voice rasping in the silent cockpit. He reached up to his mask and triggered the deep silence protocol. He didn't just turn off the speakers. He activated a physical dampener that blocked all sound and vibration from entering his helmet. Then he took it a step further. He injected a temporary neuroblocker into his own neck, deafening his auditory nerves and numbing his emotional centers. He plunged himself into a world of absolute, terrifying nothingness. No sound. No music. No home. Now he was hunting in the dark. Without his hearing or his psychic vulnerability, Vane had to rely on a different sense: haptics. He gripped the control sticks of the Vesper with gloved hands that were sensitive to the slightest quiver in the ship's frame. He felt the gravity waves hitting the hull. He felt the pulse of the Siren as it moved through the folds of space, its movements creating ripples in the vacuum. Inside his obsidian mask, the blue visor line flickered as it processed raw data, not images but vibration maps. He saw the world as a series of shifting waves. He found the lost flagship. It was drifting aimlessly, its engines idling, its crew likely staring at the view screen in a catatonic state of bliss. And coiled around the ship, like a serpent made of aurora borealis, was the Siren. It was beautiful and horrific, its translucent body spanning kilometers, its mouth a vortex of shifting colors. The Siren sensed him. It realized its song was being ignored. It began to thrash, its massive energy tendrils lashing out, creating localized gravity shears that threatened to tear the Vesper apart. Vane didn't fire his cannons. Kinetic rounds would pass through the Siren like stones through fog. Instead, he prepared a resonance tether. He had tuned the device to the exact opposite frequency of the Siren's psychic song, a negative melody of harsh, jarring dissonance. He performed a high G burn, spinning the Vesper through the Siren's coils. He was flying by the feel of the ship, the vibration of the engines telling him exactly how close he was to the edge of destruction. He fired the tether. The device latched onto the Siren's central energy core. Vane didn't pull. He activated the broadcast. The negative song hit the Siren like a physical strike. To the creature, the dissonance was agony. It wasn't a sound, but a psychic rejection, a wall of pure reality crashing into its dream world. The Siren recoiled, its translucent body flickering and shrinking as it lost its hold on the flagship. Vane didn't kill it. He didn't have to. The Siren was a creature of the deep folds. It belonged to the rifts. He simply used the tether to drag the entity away from the cargo ship, pulling it deep into a stable orbit around a distant gas giant, far from the black hole's mouth. He released the tether and watched the creature dissipate into the shadows, its light fading as it returned to its ancestral slumber. Vane returned to the flagship. He boarded it, his boots clanging on the deck though he couldn't hear the sound. He found the crew still in their seats, their eyes slowly clearing as the neuroblocker in his own system began to wear off. The silence was returning to normal. He didn't stay for their gratitude. He didn't wait for them to wake up and see the man who had saved them. He returned to the Vesper, re-engaged his audio receivers, and listened to the steady, mechanical hum of his own ship. It wasn't a song of paradise. It was the sound of a machine working in the cold. And to Silas Vane that was enough. In the legends of the Whispering Rifts, they say there is a hunter who is deaf to the lies of the universe. They say Silas Vane is the only one who can look at a dream and see the trap. But Vane doesn't feel like a hero. He just knows that in a galaxy full of songs, sometimes the most important thing you can do is find the silence. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. The void is loud, but the hunter is quiet. If you enjoyed this journey into the cosmic rifts, hit that like button. Comment below, what is your paradise that a siren would use to lure you in? Subscribe for the next hunt, the Gilded Slaver. The Vesper is back in the dark. The hunt continues.